Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Phenomenal Views. Now this is my review for the third episode of Gotham. I am late on this one, but that's because I didn't get to watch it last night, but... Alright, so the third episode of Gotham, once again, is a pretty good episode. It's tying everything together. We find out that there is this killer, or this vigilante, probably not the first, but one of the few vigilantes that shows up in Gotham. And he's killing corrupt cops. So he kills a corrupt cop by attaching him to a balloon and sending him off. Then eventually Gordon meets this lieutenant who I thought was Commissioner Loeb at first, but it wasn't. And then he gets attached to a balloon. And then the third victim is a priest. And when Gordon and Bullock are talking to him, he's like, "Why was you doing it?" And he's like, because this city is so corrupt. The law defends the criminals, the mob. And it's basically showing us once again on how bad Gotham is. The episode actually starts out with Cobblepot coming back to Gotham, and as he's walking around, he's seeing how a criminal is paying off a cop so he won't arrest him. He's walking through a part of town that had hookers around. How someone stole this woman's purse and no one did anything about it. And Cobblepot's basically trying to stay low because a bunch of people think he's dead, and he especially doesn't want Fish to find him. So, once again, they are building him up to becoming the Penguin. And his development is going very good, along with Bruce's. In this episode, Alfred teaches him fencing, and they do fence for a while. And then Alfred tries to bring him breakfast, which, if you all know from The Dark Knight, or Batman Begins, or even The Dark Knight Rises, Alfred brings Bruce breakfast and he's never there, or he never eats it. And we also do find out that Bruce is starting to do some detective work, building him up to how he becomes the world's greatest detective. And once again, this is great. Sorry. And Alfred's like, "You don't need to see this. It's going to give you nightmares." And he's like, "I already have them. I want to find clues." And he's like, "Look, Jim Gordon has already said he's going to bring your killer down." He's like, "What if he doesn't?" He said, and Alfred's like, "He's going to try." And Bruce is once again, developing into the Batman. Now we do once again get confrontation with we do get Falcone and we get Maroni. And in this episode, Maroni is played by one of the guys who plays in Dexter, David Fayez, and he played Sergeant Angel Batista. He is one of my favorite TV actors, and the fact that he's playing Maroni, that is awesome. And they do bring up Arkham once again. When I was first watching this episode and I was like, someone is killing people with a balloon, I thought the Joker for a minute because, the Joker kills people with balloons. The Joker has killed people with balloons before. In the Batman, the series that came out in 2003, he was going to pop and fill the whole entire town with Joker gas. Or in the Batman, the original Batman, he had a balloon that was going to kill everybody. So I thought Joker at first, but then found out it wasn't that. And then Jim Gordon goes to Selina Kyle, which, they're keeping up tabs with the last episode about how she's like, "I know who killed the Waynes." And she talks about how she took a wallet and then dropped it in the sewer, and which I honestly thought this was very funny because when he's getting ready to take Selina to the site, she takes Gordon's partner's pen. And then he handcuffs her to a stair. I was like, dude, she's going to get out of that. And when he goes into the sewer, he finds a wallet that's covered in crap. And she's like, "Oh, detective, you're going to need these." And I was like, are you really you're trying to handcuff Selina Kyle? That is hilarious. That's cute. So then we get the major crimes girl going to Barbara again. And at first, I honestly didn't know what was going on. But now here's a fact. The girl's a lesbian! And I was messaging my friend Dustin throughout this whole episode, and I was like, dude, what's up with her hating Gordon? Do they have a past? Because I was thinking maybe she's worked with him before and, she just doesn't trust him, or maybe they dated once. No, it's the other way around. Barbara and the girl dated. And she comes into Barbara's apartment, and Barbara's like smoking pot or smoking weed or something. She's like, I could have you arrested. Yeah, well, I could arrest you. And then they're talking about, you know, I just don't like seeing you with this man. You deserve somebody better. And then she kisses her, and then Barbara's like, just get out. And then she's like, look, Gordon killed somebody. Gordon killed Cobblepot. And Barbara's like, why are you so determined to bring him down? And she says why, and she says, because I don't like him, you deserve someone better. And I think she's basically saying, I still care about you, I want us to get back together, I don't like seeing you with a man, pretty much. I don't like seeing you with a man. I don't like my ex being with a man at all, pretty much. And then she goes out, and they're starting to interrogate Gordon. They're like, Cobblepot's been missing. We got word that you killed him. And he's like, look, you don't have any proof. Get away from me. This girl wants to bring Gordon down so bad. And I finally figured out why. She's a lesbian. So Cobblepot does what he usually does. Someone finds him, and he kills them, takes their money. And they do another little penguin hit. I was like, I swear, if he gets fish, and he's like, can I have a tuna sandwich? Yep, there it is. When they're going to discover who the balloon killer is, we do a bunch of interrogation. Gordon's partner beating the crap out of people, getting information. And then they discover that it was a former... They get a hint that it was a former balloon employee, but it was somebody else. I think it was actually the balloon owner. I can't remember. I couldn't remember the guy's name, but they do eventually find out. He's like, look, he knows how balloons work. What do you mean? The balloon eventually pops and the body drops. That rhymes. And so, you know, they do eventually find out that he was staying at the old Gotham Juvenile Center because they were going to move Selena up to a new one, and that's where they find him. And what was really funny is when they find out, when they're trying to figure out who this person is, they find this pimp, and Gordon's partner gets the crap beaten out of him, and he's like, Gordon, a little bit of help here? And then he points a gun at her, she drops the TV, and then he punches her. And Gordon gives that face like, was that really necessary? Come on. And so Gordon and his partner are basically talking, and he's like, look, you need to let this go. Because Gordon doesn't like that they're starting to hint on, and he doesn't want anyone to find out that he didn't kill Cobblepot. And he's like, look, you got to let this go. He's tired of... He wants Gordon to get with the program. He likes Gordon, but he doesn't want... Gordon does not like the corruption of Gotham, which is obvious. And he's trying to stop the corruption, but it makes everyone nervous. And a lot of people are like, haha, you're a total Boy Scout, and they hate it. Now, in this episode, they do, when the priest is killed, they do talk, actually no, when the cop is killed, they do mention the commissioner. I was like, finally, they mentioned the commissioner, because Commissioner Loeb, not in Christopher Nolan's series, but in the Batman Year One movie, I don't know, once again, I haven't read the comic, it's based on, and they say that Commissioner Loeb is in cahoots with Falcone, and he's just as corrupt as the rest of them. Which I'm waiting for them to introduce him, and they haven't done it yet. But all in all, this was a good episode, and the episode ends with when Gordon and his partner confront the vigilante. He's like, look, I tried. The police are protecting the corrupt criminal, and they're protecting the mayor, and everything like that. And so he puts Gordon's partner, I keep forgetting his name, Bullock, that's it. Bullock puts the balloon trap on him, and Gordon is not going to let him die, because Gordon refuses to be a corrupt cop and just let someone die. So Gordon jumps, and he tells Bullock to shoot the balloon, which he does, and he says to him, he's like, I have to ask, who is your next target? And he said, it doesn't matter. So when Gordon goes home, and he's talking to Barbara, Barbara's like, look, tell me what's wrong. And he's like... I asked him who his final target was, and he said it doesn't matter. And he says, because this town is so corrupt that if we start taking the law into our own hands, there will be no law. And then we cut to a scene, before that, we cut to a scene of Bruce watching the news Like how, you know, Bruce is usually quiet. He's watching the news. He's trying to figure out what stuff's going on. And, you know, Alfred does fence with him in the beginning of in the middle, or like kind of like in the beginning of the episode, and he's still worrying about Bruce because Bruce is looking into his parents' death and trying to figure things out. And so the episode ends with Barbara opening the door, and Cobblepot is standing there. He's like, "Hello, Jim, my old friend." Now, there were some other stuff I did not mention in this episode that I'm going to cover right now. Falcone is in this episode again, and so is Fish. Fish is talking to Giovanni, or her new lover boy or something that Falcone beat up in the last episode. And so she's like, "I want you to kill Falcone's girlfriend. Make it look like an accident. Oh, and also take him out too. He's depressing the whole mood." So then Falcone comes in and he's like, "My girlfriend was killed." And he's like, "My girlfriend had an accident." She's like, "Oh, I hope it wasn't something serious. It was a mugging." "Oh, I hope that they find out the person who did this." "Oh, we will. We will." And so, once again, Fish wants Falcone dead. She wants the power of Gotham. She wants it. She wants Falcone out of the picture so she can take control, and I honestly just can't wait for her to get discovered, what she's doing, and it bites her in the face. I cannot wait. She's gonna get caught, hook, line, and sinker. I made a fish joke. But guys, put in the comments below, what did you think about this episode? What did you think about the fact that we're getting more of Bruce's development as he's becoming the Batman? What do you think about the fact that we find out that the girl from Major Crimes Unit is a lesbian and she hates Gordon because he's a man and because he's dating her ex? Guys, this has been another episode of Phenomenal Views. Stay tuned for my review of Wrong Turn 4 in Cinetober. I hope you guys are enjoying that series. I'm getting ready. I'm one movie away from finishing that series. Guys, have a good day. I hope that you guys liked the rest of this series, because I cannot wait for the rest of it.